The following podcast contains adult language and themes, so don't say we didn't fucking warn you.
You're listening to SarahTalk. It's political.
Whatever the condition is in their home country is so bad that they're willing to go through that long, arduous trek to get here, where we've promised this American dream idea. The least we could do is when they knock on our door, help them.
Critical.
When was the last time a Christian was allowed to have a separate place to say their prayers? Look, you can literally bow your head at your fucking desk. You're like, why did he get the thing and I didn't get the thing? You didn't ask for the thing!
And positively LGBT positive.
Look, and whenever there's someone coming after my community, they are either wearing a MAGA hat, carrying a Bible, or more often both.
Oh, and occasionally completely absurd.
What the hell is in Idaho?
Potatoes.
Anyway? You could take a drill a
Drill up
hole
a
in a
potato
potato and fuck
you'd
a
be
potato.
fine.
Would you marry a potato though? Could that be okay?
No, but you wouldn't have to marry a potato because a potato doesn't need consent for you to fuck it.
And now, from Haines City, Florida, your host, Sarah Austin.
Hey everybody, welcome to SarahTalk. I'm Sarah Austin. This is episode 157
Woo.
on March 16th, 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, it does sound a little low to me.
Yeah, it's a little low. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Turn your volume up.
Maybe one of our children's was in here messing
Maybe.
with things. Maybe that's possible.
Yeah. I had to. I don't know if you heard that today.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
So short show tonight is the goal. We've had a very, very long day.
House full of children.
9th birthday party at
House
our
full
house.
of dogs. We had 3 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like 12 kids. Some nonsense. I don't know.
Something like that.
It wasn't 12 kids, but it felt like it.
There were a lot of people in our house.
Yeah.
It
was fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. Just a long day.
Yeah.
And so we're ready for bed. Yeah. So first off, I think we need to at least touch on the mosque shootings in Christchurch, New Zealand. And I'll have the phone lines open, as always, 224-40-SARAH, 224-407-2724, if you want to weigh in on this or anything else, or anything that's on your mind. My phone has about 38% left, so get in now.
Everybody's having a problem with his volume. That's so weird. I don't know.
Somebody had to fuck with something.
Apparently. I don't know how to fix it. Sorry, kids.
I don't know either. Does it sound like we're miles away, or does it just sound low?
Do I need to talk louder?
That's the question.
I can always talk
Does,
louder.
like one of the children unplug a thing?
I don't know.
Because that's possible. If we sound like we're miles away, then that's likely what the culprit is.
All of my cords are plugged in.
Kill some time.
Killing time. Don't know how to kill time. Everybody like the new intro? Just for you, Dan. Just for you. I don't want to lose a listener over your crappy Alex Jones impression.
Hey.
Just saying.
All right. Well, that's all I got. The only thing I can do is check the setting there and.
Just low, not echoey.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Guess we'll have to play with it.
Yeah. But anyway, so the shooting in New Zealand.
Yes.
There's so many things about this that just make me frustrated and sick. This guy's manifesto that he wrote, where he proudly proclaimed himself a terrorist, white supremacist, big Trump fan. So I want to share a little bit from our friend Teely, who lives in New Zealand, who's a New Zealander.
Mm-hmm.
We had a conversation today, back and forth about this a little bit. And here's some of her comments. The unexpectedness is all of that. That's the whole thing, really. The last time we had a mass shooting was decades ago. These things just don't happen. Regarding the video, we thought it was a joke. It was also surreal. Never thought it was a live feed until the news reports started to come out.
Oh, wow.
She says, I was at work. We saw the video. We just didn't think it was real or realize what we were watching. He said he did it to take back the land for the white people. You're an Australian man. Australia belongs to the brown Aboriginals.
Yeah.
Right? So this was something that, our local news covered this too, of course, and on some of those Facebook posts, you had people on there talking about, well, that's what you get when you open your borders and let people immigrate in, and these Muslims come in and they're trying to, Sharia law and take over and all of that bullshit. Which is funny because literally every native people on the planet said that about Christians once upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough. So if you think Christianity was never like Islam, you haven't been reading history.
Right.
She says, absolutely disgusted by the actions of a terrorist, and yes, that's what we are calling him, not some, quote, mentally unstable white man. I tried to get her to call in tonight. She said she's going to be at work. This is like midday for her.
Yeah.
One thing I'm proud of is New Zealand's response and our Prime Minister's swift actions. I did see another post later on in the day where they are planning to, where the Prime Minister said they're going to be paying for all the expenses, all the funeral expenses. They're going to cover it all.
Massive.
Last count I saw was 49.
That's what I saw,
and then many more injured.
Yeah. And you don't know. I mean, the extent of the injuries,
right?
That number could climb.
She says, I don't really agree with the current Prime Minister's changes since she's been in office, but her compassion and composure has been amazing. I live in Auckland, and I'm literally in another island than Christchurch, so we've been saddened and felt devastated by the events, but I cannot even imagine how people in Christchurch are feeling. On the night of the Christchurch shooting, there was a bomb scare in the central city of Auckland. Police later said that the 2 mystery bags left on the streets turned out to be scaffolding material. There's apparently a lot of construction happening in the city. But for several hours, we were scared that it was connected to the mosque shooting. Can you imagine?
Well, unfortunately,
yes,
we can.
Sadly, we can.
Like, that's...
Yep. And so, we talked a little bit about were this to have happened here, and even though it didn't, right? Here in America, what do? Oh, here we go again. We've become numb to this kind of stuff. It happens too frequently.
Yep.
But if you really want to, make your gut suck and read the manifesto, it's big. There's a lot to it. But it talks about, why he chose to use guns. And it specifically talks about, like, I could have used planes, I could have used bombs, I could have used flour with an ignition and a way to spray. Like, he listed, here's all of these things I could have used, but I used guns specifically because, first of all, in New Zealand, it's pretty easy to access the type of gun he needed to get a permit, legally owned the gun. But also he wanted to stoke up the gun debate in America. He wanted to, dig the divide a little bit deeper.
Right.
Well, success.
Yeah, right. It's not difficult to do that.
Look at any social media post about this, and you'll find here we are. America does what it does best. We get on our sides and argue back and forth about gun laws and will they make things better, or no, the better thing to do would be to arm everybody, and then you've got good guys with guns, and that's all we know how to do. Meanwhile, see, when this happens in America, someone will inevitably say, hey, maybe we should take away some of the guns.
Mm-hmm.
And half the country will go, fuck you, don't take my guns.
Yep.
In New Zealand, someone said, hey, maybe we should take some of these guns away. And they're like, okay, let's get back into the legislature and get that going.
And they actually want to fix.
So it looks like they're going to be
part of it,
doing something to actually address the issue.
That was my thought. Like, okay, well, it's not happening here, so maybe something's actually going to get done about it. Like,
right.
You know, especially if it's been decades since this has happened there. There's, you know, probably a good reason for that. They probably, I mean, I don't know, like, what's their healthcare thing there?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Victoria says, and yet Trump refuses to say the word terrorist. Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things that Teely and I talked about was that specifically, so when this thing broke, I turned to Australian news sources to watch it because I was interested to see how it was going to be covered.
Right.
And, you know, surprise, surprise, that's exactly what they did. From jump, this guy is a terrorist. He called himself a terrorist.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. He is a racist, white supremacist terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So it's been a while since we've talked about some gun stuff. And interesting timing, some gun stuff has popped up in the news.
Go figure. You don't say.
So I wanted to talk about a few of these news stories. The first one here could have been a Florida man, but I separated it out because it's too fucking much. Authorities say a Palm Beach County man showed up at a junior high school with a loaded AK-47 after his son contacted him to say a teacher had pushed him. Now, again, let me just say, right, these 2A nuts that are like, we need to arm everyone. Here's another great example of why we can't trust you with guns. Palm Beach Post reports that 27-year-old Christopher Freeman was arrested Monday afternoon at the middle school and charged with aggravated assault, possessing a weapon on school property, and disturbing the peace. Police say Freeman's son had video called him in tears, saying a teacher had, quote, slammed him. Freeman told police he then saw an adult grab the boy before the call ended. An officer met with Freeman when he arrived at the school and reported seeing what appeared to be a gun sticking out of Freeman's pants, prompting a school lockdown.
Oh, wow.
Police then found an AK-47 pistol during a search.
It's crazy. I mean, listen, I get it. Don't put your hands on my fucking children.
Right.
However, there is a way
right
to handle that situation.
Yeah, no shit. And while we're talking about guns, Arkansas State Senator Stephanie Flowers made an impassioned speech during a debate over the state's Stand Your Ground law. You're familiar with these, yeah? Florida's got a big hard-on for Stand Your Ground.
Oh, yeah.
So here's Senator Stephanie Flowers.
I'll be as quick as I can, as quick as it takes to kill somebody, I guess. You want me to be that quick. But, you know, as Ms. Fletcher pointed out, and it doesn't take much to look on the local news every night and see how many black kids, black boys, black men are being killed with these stand your ground defenses that these people raise, and they get off. So I take issue with that. I'm the only person here of color, okay? I am a mother, too. And I have a son. And I care as much for my son as y'all care for y'all's. But my son doesn't walk the same path as yours does. So this debate deserves more time. I'm in Pine Bluff. We have killings regularly down there. Mr. Hunter knows, he's our prosecutor. Now, I don't know where the heck, I know where you are from, Gary. And I don't know really where Mr. Ballinger is from. But I can tell you that for a long time since I've been back here in Arkansas, I have feared for my son's life.
Now, she is like staring down
Yeah.
this Senator Clark.
This is a badass bitch right here.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah.
Now, he's 27, he's out of Arkansas. And I thank God he is. When you're bringing up crap like this, it offends me. And then to limit the debate too, this is crazy. You don't have to worry about your children, Will. I worry about my son. And I worry about other little black boys and girls. And people coming into my neighborhood, into my city, saying they got open carry rights, walking down in front of my doggone office in front of the courthouse. That's a bully. Do I have a right to stand my ground with some crazy ass person walking around with a doggone gun? I don't know what the hell he intends to do. But I know I am scared. I feel threatened. Just like some of y'all walking around here up in the legislature with these damn guns.
Ooh, wow.
That, what's his name? Garner came in here, walking around here with a damn gun under his coat. You can see the damn print.
Senator, you need to stop.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. What the hell you gonna do? Shoot me?
Senator.
Senator shit. Go to hell. I'm telling you, this deserves more attention. You want to come up here with all these little NRA bills and bills that Alec have and all that stuff. I'm talking about my son's life. And I'm talking about the lives of other black kids. Do what the hell you want to do. Go ahead, but you can't silence me. You got your damn silence gun out the damn chamber today, but you are not going to silence me.
I can't. I love this lady.
Right?
Can we get like, the names work perfectly. I think we need like a Waters Flowers ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're like.
Hell yes.
Senator Flowers, if anybody hasn't tried to silence you, it's me.
Wait a minute. You just did.
Chair, I vote we recess.
To win. To win. We need to get this over with. He said we were going to be down here all night. You got all these people up here. NAACP is here too. Let them speak. Want to limit some damn debate.
Senator,
What?
you're out of order.
And so what?
So you're out of order.
Okay, so what?
You're out of order.
And so what are you going to do about it? I am upset.
You need to be upset somewhere else.
No, I don't. I got a right. I'm an elected officer just like you.
Right, at this point, she gets up and walks out. Somebody whispered, "God help us." Do you hear that?
Yeah.
So at this point, she gets up and leaves the committee room to smoke a
man.
cigarette with a colleague. Flowers then returned to hear members of the Arkansas State Police, Arkansas Association of Chiefs of Police, and the Arkansas Sheriff's Association voice their opposition to the bill. Writing for The Root, Stephen Crockett writes, quote, "Flowers wasn't talking as a legislator. She was talking as a mom. A black mom. She would leave the meeting room to smoke a cigarette, and in the end, the measure failed, as it has failed for the last 10 years.
Wow.
Right? That's the kind of people I want in my legislature.
Yeah. Stand up to the white man that had no idea. Dan, listen, you can ask me all you want all day long. I can't show you a video if Sarah
And we're not going to
doesn't put it in the computer.
and we're not going to relitigate this on the show every week. I need to buy some more cables to make that happen. And I'm looking at buying a new computer now too, because I sat down to get some of these clips ready for tonight, and I got a fucking blue screen of death error again.
Yeah, that's not good.
So yeah, that we're about to crash again. Hopefully it stays on throughout the rest of the show.
We're going to have to use your Jeep money to
Yeah,
get a new computer.
no kidding. Well, while we're still on the topic, this is fucking crazy. There's a bill in Missouri that would require adults 18 to 34 require them to own a semi-automatic rifle that is modeled on the AR-15. All adults 18 to 34.
What the fuck?
House Bill 1108, sponsored by Republican Representative Andrew McDaniel, would establish the McDaniel Militia Act and stated that, quote, every resident of this state shall own at least one AR-15. And the best part, there's a tax credit.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So, assuming this nonsense passes, I will eat a shirt.
A shirt?
Any taxpayer who does not own an AR-15 prior to the date required under the McDaniel Militia Act, who then purchases one to satisfy the requirement, quote, shall be allowed to claim a tax credit against such taxpayer's income tax liability. So, I mean, I guess this is that idea of, like, you know, if your employer requires that you have to wear a certain type of shoes, or, you know, you have to wear safety glasses or hard hat or whatever, they have to provide it for you. So this is kind of I think, a similar sort of measure. But really, do we really want old people in Missouri packing an AR-15?
I want to know how much the NRA paid the person who wrote this. That's what I want to know.
Right.
I want to see their financials.
Right.
Because that's some bullshit.
And clearly an NRA.
Oh, it has to be.
Has to be.
Has to be. Who else would really? Because that stands to make them a lot of money.
Oh, right. Of course, if you're legally prevented from owning a firearm anyway for any reason, you don't get to be in the militia, even though if you actually needed to activate a militia, those are probably the guys that you want on your team.
Right?
The ex-felons who aren't allowed to own firearms forever and ever. Let's see. You know what? I didn't mention this, but we only have 4 pages of notes tonight. It's really going to be a short show. So, I wanted to mention one other thing. This is kind of gear change, unless you've got anything interesting to share.
I'm good.
So there was a comment on a post of someone that I'm a friend with. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't have permission to read these. But there was a post about abortion rights, about the right of the woman, it's her body, and it kind of went over again the talking points that we've discussed recently about consent, and consent to sex is not equal to consent to pregnancy, and if I don't consent to the pregnancy, I should be able to terminate it, and all of that stuff, right? And then someone commented underneath 6 or 7 comments later, a story that I feel connected to in a way, but because there's so much, maybe I should just read it first, but because there's so much like social bullshit baked in to the way I feel about abortion and pregnancy, when I first read it, I thought, I can kind of, I get that feeling. I understand that. And now I feel shitty for it. But I shouldn't. So listen to this and tell me what you think.
Okay.
I didn't want children. I became pregnant at 19. Had an abortion. I didn't want children. I became pregnant and a mom at age 26. As much as I love my daughter, as hard as I work to be the best mother to her that I can, as painful as it is to imagine my world without her in it, mentally, I will never be ready to be a parent. I should have never had her. I should have had an abortion. She doesn't deserve a mother that struggles, and who may always struggle like I do. But my love for her, and her love for me, has bonded us. She takes care of me when I simply can't, and she is 6. That's unfair to her, but she does it without complaint. I never ask for her help, she gives it willingly, but she deserves better. Better in her eyes is me. She tells me every day that I am the best and how much she loves me. She just doesn't see how much working and caring for her brings me mental and physical pain. I shouldn't have had a child, but I did, because society made me feel obligated to. That's unfair to me.
Wow.
Yep.
Shit.
Some deep stuff right there. Let me chew on that for a minute. Now, I don't know, obviously, that's all the context I have. I don't know if there was even a consideration of an abortion of the second, pregnancy, or if, I don't know. But I connect real hard on that. I am never going to be prepared to be your parent, to be a good parent.
Right.
I connect so hard with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are many days when I get to the end of the day and I think, why did we do this?
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Why? Well, yeah.
I mean, it's not easy,
And we love them to death. We love them so much. And they bring so much joy to our lives.
Sure. I can't, because I've been struggling this week with this.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really hard. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I think you have to. Otherwise, I'm going to have to leave.
Yeah. But like with all of the difficult things we talk about, I think, there is something therapeutic, there is something helpful about hearing other people feel the way that you feel, Like the feelings that I had about my gender identity,
right,
and the feelings that I have about being an atheist, and the feelings that I have, all of those things, when you spend so long, particularly the trans stuff, feeling like you're the only person in the world that feels this way, and then to hear it reflected back to you from someone else that's saying, hey, no, I've felt that too.
Right.
And you're not alone.
I mean,
I think that's super useful.
Like, I think when we got together, we were both kind of just content to not have kids.
Yeah.
And I think we were both right there on the same page. And fortunately, we've been on the same page with the way we're going to raise our kids. So once that oopsie happened, it was like, okay, well, I mean, the thought never crossed my mind that, I'll have to get an abortion.
No, mine either.
Never.
No,
like, I never
we were happy about it.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was a shock. It was a little uncomfortable because we weren't married and you were very, very freshly divorced. And, but like, it was just, there was anxiety about what the families were going to say.
Yeah.
I never went down that path. Like, I was more like, if I can avoid getting pregnant, great. Like, I think that was the plan of attack. It wasn't.
Right.
But no, there was never even a moment where I thought, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So.
And my perspective there, I think, is interesting too, in that, I have been through a situation where someone I got pregnant got an abortion.
Right.
And I know I've talked a little bit about that on the show too, but I was like fucking 17.
Yeah.
First person I'd ever been with.
Right.
She ends up pregnant. At the time, I was very Christian still. And so I had that, abortion is murder and we have to keep it. And, this means we need to be together and raise a kid and all of this stuff. Like, we'll figure it out. And that's kind of how I am, generally, is, oh, shit went down. Okay. Panic for a minute, but all right, now let's
regroup and come up
here.
with what
it is what it is, and we'll figure it out. And then I was not included in the decision at all. In fact, she was taken to a clinic without my knowledge.
Right.
And I've spent all of these years really kind of reflecting on my role in all of that. Like, there's a news story out now. I didn't pull it for the show today. Maybe I should have. Of the dude that's suing on behalf of his aborted fetus.
I did see that.
Because he's the father and he should have some say and some rights.
That's an interesting thing too. Like, it's like, well, I don't know how I feel on that.
Right.
Like how much does the father, how much say can you really have? I mean, once your junk leaves your body, it's not yours anymore.
Yeah.
Is kind of where I land on that, because if I have to carry this baby,
right,
it's my body, and I don't care that you might have given,
right. So I can see the arguments all around. I can see, this is, you are carrying something that is 50% genetically me.
Right.
Mine. And that should count for something.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if you say, okay, there's 50% of what was mine and 50% of what was yours combined into this new being, okay, but now it's inside you, and so now it's not 50-50 anymore.
So let's
60-40,
let's do a spin on this.
25.
So now say you've got a man who doesn't want to get anybody pregnant, and so he's very diligent about wrapping it, and he's got a really sneaky girl who pokes a hole in his condom just to get pregnant.
Right.
And now she's pregnant. Does he have say as to whether or not she can have that baby or not?
Right. Right.
I mean, there's so many different,
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
No, that's a really good perspective. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. For some reason, it popped into my head, and I went, well, wait a minute now.
Right.
I mean, because he doesn't want a kid. He's doing what he has to do to avoid it, and now she's tricked him into having a baby, and now, okay. Can he make her get an abortion? I mean, I guess the only other thing he could do, if he didn't want to have the responsibility, is sign away his parental rights.
Right. Yeah, and that would probably be
Probably.
Yeah.
I
don't know, some deep stuff.
Yikes. I wasn't prepared for this.
I didn't decide to add that in until about a minute ago. Well, a minute before the show, maybe.
Are we taking a break?
We're going to take a break.
Holy shit.
I have only a couple stories left, and then we'll do a Florida man. So into the world of religion we go. When we come back, you're listening to Sarah Talk.
Are you ready for your first card? As I look at the set I placed down for you, I see an interesting things rising. Some of it has to deal with love and money and changes, and hopefully they're going to be for the better. Now your first card represents your situation, maybe some problems you've been having, maybe a little bit about yourself. Your first card is sorrow. This card is letting us know that there is some type of disruption in your life. Not that it's a big deal, but this card is giving off a strange vibe of anxiety. Actually, this card is warm in my hand. Oh, now caller, if you listen here, I'm seeing in the cards. Oh, yes, the 45 of mangoes. The 45 of mangoes card says you're going to go on to Patreon and subscribe, because there is nothing better than giving when receiving. What will you ask me? Find out now and I see for you. Call me now for a free tarot reading.
You let Jesus into your heart. Now it's time to bring him into your home with Flat Jesus. Take photos of Flat Jesus in questionable situations and share with the hashtag FlatJesus. Take pictures of Flat Jesus watching the Smurfs on TV. Hang him on a cross. He won't mind. Flat Jesus on your 3-year-old's toddler potty reading the Quran? That's fucking hilarious. But don't wait, apostates. Download your very own Flat Jesus right now at SarahTalk.com/Jesus. That's SarahTalk.com/Jesus now for your free Flat Jesus. The Bible says the earth is flat. Maybe Jesus was too.
I was feeling so alone.
I was going through a really difficult time.
I was embarrassed and a little scared.
I didn't want to bother anyone.
I didn't think they'd understand.
I thought it would just make things worse.
It was tough at first, but I did it. It ended up taking a huge weight off my shoulders.
I feel a lot better.
I'm glad I asked for help.
I asked for help.
I asked for help.
I asked my teacher. I asked my aunt.
I asked my dad.
I asked my mom.
I asked the Trevor Project.
Now, I feel like I can get through this.
I know that I am brave.
You can do this.
You can do this.
You can do this.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Whatever it is, ask for help.
If you're thinking about suicide or need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. Trained counselors are there to help 24/7. Ask for help.
Hey you, this is John from the Wayward Willis, and you are listening to the SarahTalk podcast. You know who else is listening? God. He's listening, and he's pissed. He has to send Jesus out of the room because of all the fucking profanity. Clean up your act, SarahTalk. You make baby Jesus cry.
Well, if he's not pissed yet, he's about to be.
For sure.
Welcome back to SarahTalk. I'm Sarah Austin with the lovely Becca.
Hello.
So, we're going to try to lift us up out of that.
You need
darkness.
to, because before the show, I said I really want to drink tonight, but more than wanting to drink tonight, I would really like to take a sleeping pill at bedtime so that I could get a good night's sleep. I haven't slept in weeks. Right. So I'm not drinking, so I'm completely sober, and she does this to me.
Let me just say, to sort of finish that thought, if that's something that you've struggled with, the idea of, had kids because society says you're not supposed to have an abortion, or that, you should want kids. A lot of people don't want kids. Just, we didn't want kids.
I don't struggle with that. I struggle with the I'm not a good parent.
Yeah. No. Me too.
But I don't necessarily think I ever associated it with not being ready to be a parent.
Right. I don't know that I will ever be a good parent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that. I'm going on 40, y'all. If it hadn't happened, it ain't gonna happen. That's all I'm saying.
I just hope at the end of the day that I can be a better parent than I had.
Right.
And I love my parents, but I think if we all learn from our parents' mistakes, eventually we'll get to, but I think it's always going to be a struggle, and it's always going to be difficult, and everybody's always going to have their challenges.
Right.
I mean, it is just what it is.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
All right, so here's some batshit crazy from last week that we didn't include on last week's show.
Hey, Fozzie! Yes, Mr. Snowman! Did you hear about the church that burned down? Holy smoke!
Okay, no, listen, I'm not laughing about the church that burned down.
No, of course not. We're laughing at the Muppets.
Yes.
I love the Muppets.
Of course. And we're not laughing at the church that burned down where the Bibles were saved. We did talk about that last week.
We did.
So last week when I talked about that story, I mentioned that, while that was going on, while the church was burning down, and I wish I'd thought to grab that clip for last week, because that would have been better. While the church was burning and God was saving the Bibles, while that was going on, there were tornadoes ripping through Alabama that killed nearly 24 people.
Yes.
Where was God?
Saving Bibles, apparently.
I'm still searching. Apparently saving Bibles, but not churches.
No.
But if God couldn't be bothered to save the innocent lives lost in those storms, at least, he sent a messenger angel after the fact to make things worse?
He sent out damage control and it backfired.
Sure. Well, Donald Trump showed up at a church that is serving as a disaster relief area for people affected by the deadly tornadoes, where he autographed Bibles and took photos with survivors. The Associated Press reports, volunteer Emily Pike says the President and First Lady signed a small Bible owned by her 10-year-old daughter, Meredith.
That's insane.
Trump used a felt pen to scratch it. This is a quote from the AP, from this volunteer. Trump used a felt pen to scratch out his signature on the cover of the girl's Bible, which is decorated with pink camouflage. And First Lady Melania Trump then added her signature, end quote.
Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pink camo. Pink camo Bible.
Woo!
Wow. I wonder where you get those.
Alabama.
Obviously.
The Hill reports local volunteer Ada Ingram, who said she voted for Trump and would again in 2020. Quote, I enjoyed him coming, end quote.
Oh, wow.
Hey-o! That's not what Stormy said. Quote, I think it's a godsend. I'm sorry, the situation is bad, and there are going to be people who will say, why did he come to my town? I don't know why. I don't know why the hurricane happened, but there is a reason.
Oh, my God. There are scientific explanations for hurricanes and storm patterns. There is no scientific explanation for this monstrosity in the White House. I'm sorry. That's all I got.
The reason Trump came was to get some good press, or
of course.
Good press in his eyes anyway. And second, this was a tornado, not a hurricane.
I didn't. Oh my God! Yeah.
There's a pretty damn big difference, and perhaps if you understood the difference, you might know why tornadoes happen.
Holy crap! I didn't even catch that. Oh my gosh!
Tornadoes happen when warm air from the Gulf of Mexico mixes with cold air from Canada, creating unstable conditions. Warm air mixing with cold air can cause vertical columns of rotating air accompanied by thunderstorms. Thank you, EasyScienceForKids.com.
My son can explain this stuff to you.
Jesus Christ.
And he's only 9. But you know what? We haven't littered his brain with doctrinal crap from... Anyway.
Yep.
Maybe that's what it is. Like, it stunts your growth and your ability to learn things when you're just taught.
I should probably have read that in Southern. I think it's a godsend. I'm sorry. The situation is bad. Are there going to be people who will say, why did he come to my town? I don't know why. I don't know why the hurricane happened, but there is a reason. And it's not a hurricane!
You know what is funny? Okay, so this is actually hilarious because our son often gets hurricanes and tornadoes confused. And maybe that's why I didn't catch it, because I'm so used to like dismissing him or correcting him that I just shut it out. But he does. He'll call it a hurricane, a tornado, or a tornado, a hurricane, and it's hilarious. But
he's 9.
He's 9, so
yeah. Moving on, our old friend and crypt keeper Pat Robertson.
Oh yay, Pat Robertson
responded to a viewer question on this week's 700 Club. Let's see.
Oh, geez.
Let's see how he does on this one. We've listened to others in the past.
Oh, my. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
This is Matthew, who says, I'm a Christian man married to my wife for 8 years in April. I thought our marriage was all right until I found out that she's been talking online with a gay woman that she likes. I'm worried that this gay woman might be taking my wife away from me and that her faith in Jesus is fading away. She spends more time online with this woman than going to church. What can I do to help my wife back to the ordinary life we used to have?
Okay.
I got the answer.
You answer first.
It ain't gonna happen unless you can somehow become a gay woman.
Right.
Oh man. Oh wow. And even then, I mean, if she's looking somewhere else,
right?
You've already lost her, dude.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. But is Pat's solution to this going to get her back? Let's find out.
Probably not.
That's a serious thing. And what are you going to do? Are you going to tell her she can't do it and then she'll rebel?
Well, that's what you should do, right? You should tell your woman what to do.
She's being captured, you know? That's what it is a capture.
Oh, she's been captured.
And you need to deliver her from that. But I think she needs help. And you see, what would you do? That's a tough one. I mean, really.
It really is a tough one. Maybe conversation, you know, just to talk with her about it if she's willing to. Sometimes people aren't willing when they're doing.
Yeah.
something that they
perhaps you.
So first, she makes the best suggestion of all. Maybe you should talk to your wife.
Right.
Right. There's a good start. Sit her down and say, "Hey, we need to talk about this. It's not going to be a comfortable conversation. Those happen. Uncomfortable conversations exist, especially in relationships, and however long this marriage was."
Oh man.
But listen, because the man hath interrupted her, and is going to speak.
You can find a woman in the church who is a Christian who is solid, who would talk to your wife about this, because.
So don't you talk to her. That was the woman's suggestion, the correct suggestion, I might add. Actually, sit down and talk. Then his suggestion is, oh no, you should find another woman in the church to talk to your wife. Are you fucking kidding me?
So now instead of having a wife who's got a gay lady on the internet who's probably hundreds and thousands of miles away, you just go find another lady in the church that then your wife can turn.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, make it easier for her. That's great. Sorry.
This is an infatuation, and when it's all over, she's got to come back to you, because she'll be left with nothing. And I think she needs to face of where she's going.
She'll be left with this other woman.
Yeah, probably.
Who might treat her better than, it doesn't.
If this guy is looking for advice from Pat Robertson, I'm gonna guess that that's why his wife is strayed.
There you go.
If she continues in this so-called relationship, she will throw away everything she's got, and when it's all over with, she won't have anything. All right.
So-called relationship.
Right? No, she'll have.
Is it because she does the sex differently?
Yes.
It's only a so-called relationship? Because
it must be.
Oh, man.
I
feel sorry for him.
The husband or Pat?
Pat.
Or who? Oh, okay.
Because his window to the world is just so tiny. I wonder what kind of things he's missed out on.
All of the good ones.
Yeah, obviously.
Here's the other thing I don't understand. And I think this too of, Dear Abby and all of those columns.
Uh-huh.
Like when I see them, because our local newspapers, post them or whatever, often I think, God, why do these still exist? Who? I know who. This is rhetorical. Who is sitting at home watching the 700 Club thinking, that guy could probably give me some good marriage advice? Hey, I'll take your lady co-host's advice and double it.
Right?
Not only talk to your wife, maybe suggest talking to someone professionally? Like
something.
At least you by yourself go talk to a therapist. And be prepared for, if you go into that conversation of, hey, I think we together, I think we need, couples counseling or whatever, be prepared that she's already gone.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll say, no, I'm not going to counseling with you. That's not going to help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too far past.
Well, you were in that situation.
I was indeed.
Where
That's why
you were
bring
done, and then it was like, okay, I'm done, and she wanted to go to counseling, but you were like, nope, not gonna do it, and it's unfortunate,
right?
But that happens a lot.
And I don't know that had counseling happened earlier, I don't know that would have.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
saved or done anything to.
It's hard to tell because if people don't have the capacity to grow and change,
right,
then they're not going to, no matter whether they get counseling or not.
Right.
And I feel like I've known a lot of people who, when you take them out of their bubble where they're overprotected, if they don't grow and blossom into, I mean,
right.
I grew up in a freaking cult. So I've known a lot of people who've left that environment, and you either grow and change and evolve, or you don't. And when you don't, it affects everything.
Yep.
And so I don't know,
if anything, I think it would have helped me verbalize better why I wanted out and what was going on and process my own thoughts and feelings better. But anyway.
Pat is going to be 89 on the 22nd. Should we wish him an early happy birthday or wait?
No, let's wait.
We could have a Pat Robertson birthday episode next week. Oh my God,
no. I wouldn't do that to you all.
I wish you had enough time to go through and pick out his craziest clips and just make like a 10-minute audio.
Right.
Or video of all of his crazy facial expressions.
There's so much.
There's too much.
No, there's too much.
You'd need like 89 years
he's been on the air for 100 years, so...
Wait a minute. He's only 89 years old. How has he been on the air for 100 years?
I have seen the man. I just watched a video. I don't buy that for a second. Okay. Let's move on to the Florida man.
Already?
Yeah, already. I told you it was going to be a short show.
I didn't believe you. I mean, you said 4 pages, but I know you can draw pages out, so...
Well, sometimes we hit on a topic, and then I anticipated that it would be a 10-minute or less conversation, and then we just get dug into it.
Yeah, I know.
But those are good. Those are the best.
How good are these Florida man stories? How many are there?
I got 3.
Okay, that's not bad.
The Florida man brought to you by our top patrons. I swear to God I'm buying mute buttons at some point.
I'm sorry.
Part-time patron Russell. Mandy Imus. Subscribed on Patreon, and all I got was a bowl of dicks.
What the fuck? John, go to your fucking room.
And
the sixth sheiks. I knew I was going to fuck it up. Okay, shut up. The sixth sheiks, sixth sheep's sick.
Dan, you're sick.
Dan, we have to have a conversation. And I'm not sure what about because this is just sick. Okay.
Well, you know what they say. All the best stories start with... Florida man, 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 Florida man. Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, Florida man, Florida. And sometimes a Florida woman.
So, yeah, hey, if you didn't know, if you're a patron, and you didn't know, you can change your patron name as often as you want, really, and we'll read whatever stupid shit you come up with.
Russell just said I need to change up my name, and so I'm gonna offer. I will help you. I have plenty of ideas. I just don't have a Patreon account, so I'll give you some of mine.
There you go. Hey, before we get into tonight's stories, I want to give you an update from Hot Balls last week.
Hot Balls.
If you recall, the man had dipped his testicles in a customer's salsa.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Well, he almost fucked up his plea deal in court this week. From Knoxville News, quote, Howard Webb, 31, pleaded guilty to an amended charge of misdemeanor assault/offensive touching and avoided the potential of serving prison time. Webb initially was charged with adulteration of food, liquids, or pharmaceuticals, you shall recall, a Class C felony. Webb, however, couldn't help but chuckle after entering his plea, prompting a stern rebuke from Blount County General Sessions Court Judge Robert Hedrick. Quote, "What are you laughing about, Mr. Webb?" Hedrick snapped. "There is nothing about this situation I find cute or funny. It's abhorrent." End quote. With the smile wiped off his face, Webb was sentenced to a 6-month suspended sentence on supervised probation. He's required to serve 30 days in jail first, minus 21 days credit for the time he's already spent locked up since arrest. Also required to attend a 90-day drug and alcohol counseling sessions within the next 90 days. So 90 days of sessions in the next 90 days. It's one a day.
Whoa.
And pay a whopping $10 fine plus court costs. So there's an update on old Hot Balls for you. I just couldn't help but she still thinks it's funny. Before the judge, and he still thinks it's funny.
I mean, he's
Jesus
got balls.
Christ. Okay, on to tonight's competitors. In a story right out of the Hatfields and McCoys, a Pasco County man was charged with battery after allegedly spraying his neighbor in the face with a pressure washer.
I'm not sure what's more funny, that or that he was charged with battery. Don't you just charge your battery?
You're a mess.
Go on.
According to the arrest report, around 7 p.m. Friday, the unnamed victim was using a blower to clear his yard. That's when a neighbor, Johnny Plaster Jr., 52, allegedly walked over to him and sprayed him, quote, causing dirt and water to hit the victim in the face and upper body, end quote. The incident was caught on home surveillance video. Deputies did not suggest a motive for the crime. In the next story, a Fort Lauderdale man
my neck of the woods.
Was in for a surprise when he went to use the bathroom Thursday, which prompted a 911 call.
Uh-oh.
Any guesses?
At his house?
Mm-hmm.
Snake in the toilet.
Fort Lauderdale Fire Rescue responded and removed a large iguana from the toilet.
Oh, okay. Well, we've had lizards in ours, so that's not surprising.
This thing was huge, too. If you look at the picture, it's giant iguana.
Damn.
Firefighters took the iguana outside and released it, but not before sharing pictures on social media. Now, apparently, the man reportedly called Florida Fish and Wildlife first, but was told the agency doesn't respond to those type of calls. What does the Florida Fish and Wildlife Agency do then anyway?
They fish eagles out of sewers.
And if they tell you, oh, we don't handle that, just call 911. What? You are wasting valuable resources calling 911 for a fucking iguana in your toilet.
Listen, iguanas are no joke. They can hurt you. They can mess you up. Especially if they're big enough. Now, Fish and Wildlife doesn't respond to animals that are inside the home? Is that, or is, I mean...
That just said to this type of call.
I think that, oh man, that thing is huge.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what it is. They don't go into people's homes because it's not wildlife. I mean, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, if it was in the backyard terrorizing the you know, like...
No, that's wildlife. I'm sorry.
I understand, but...
Okay.
Their jurisdiction is outdoors, I believe. I don't know. I wouldn't...
Moving on.
Anyway.
And finally, a Florida woman stole a vehicle from an Ace rent-a-car in Jacksonville. According to employees, she was upset because they were overbooked.
Uh-oh, I hate it when that happens.
Surveillance video shows a woman wearing the same clothes at the front desk of the rental car center. Then the same woman is seen driving off in a RAV4. When officers arrived at the hotel where the car was located, the woman hid in her room. Officers eventually made entry and put her in handcuffs. News for Jax was on the scene and confronted the woman. Have a listen.
Our camera was rolling as we chased down the woman accused of stealing an SUV from the Ace Rent-A-Car Thursday afternoon. Employees say they found her with the stolen car at the Travelodge off Airport Road. Did you steal a car?
Oh, I don't know what you're speaking about, ma'am.
Well, we have you on video wearing that same outfit.
Oh, really? That's nice.
Why did you take the car?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Demons told me to do it.
Who told you to do it?
The demons.
Demons told you to steal the car. Why did they tell you to do that?
I don't know.
I
really don't know.
So you admit you took it?
No, I didn't take it. The demon took it.
The demon took it.
The demon took it.
I tried to rent it, but y'all didn't want to rent me a car. Talking about y'all ain't had no cars for rent. So I stole it. Any more questions?
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Wow. Okay. Oh, okay. So what do we got?
You got, don't spray me, bro.
I already forgot which one that was. Damn.
It's the neighbor with the pressure washer.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Iguana used the toilet.
Oh, God. Oh, God. They're making fun of my jokes in the chat.
And demons took the car.
Oh, Jesus.
It's got to be the demons for me.
Gotta be the...
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I love how she was just like, I didn't take the car. I don't know what you're talking about.
Demons told me.
The demons told me to take it. So you took the car? Oh, no. No, I didn't take the car.
That's crazy. Yeah, it has to be. I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat is demons. So far. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. Well, you can always count on Florida for some goofy shit like this.
Well, that's why we have the segment.
Yes, exactly. All right, so hey, that's going to do it for tonight's episode, if you can believe it.
It was quick. I can't believe it.
I think we haven't done an hour or shorter show in...
I will say...
a long time.
If anybody wants some birthday cake... I have to vent about the birthday cake. So I ordered a birthday cake from Publix because Publix makes the best cakes, right? They really do. If you've never had a Publix birthday cake...
Yeah, for those of you who are not from Florida, Publix is,
primo.
Publix,
and I'm not
is the
just
local
saying that because my
grocery store
brother
that
works for
everybody loves.
Publix. I'm just saying Publix is the best. I've been eating Publix cakes since I was a kid. Cakes and subs. So I ordered the cake, and it was supposed to be ready at 11 o'clock today. And about 9:30, I get a phone call from the bakery at Publix, telling me that their airbrush gun was broken and that they weren't sure that they were going to have my cake ready on time. And so, did I want to pick another cake, or what did I want to do? They're working on the gun. They just don't know yet. And what's the absolute latest that I can wait for the cake? Well, the party starts at 1. So if you can get it done before if I have to come get it, I need to get it and be home by 1. So 12:30, right? Okay, well, we can deliver it as well. We have a person that can deliver. Okay, fine. Call me back. Let me know what's going on. So she called about an hour and a half later, got it up and running, or went and got another airbrush from another store, whatever, got the cake, right? So I ordered this huge-ass cake for like 40 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
And not that many people came. So I have like two-thirds of a cake left.
Yeah.
So seriously, somebody come eat this freaking cake because I'm going to... it's so good. Okay.
It is. It's just a lot.
It's just a lot.
I mean, I'm going to be taking a piece to work every night.
I'm going to have to...
God.
I sent some home with Laura. She came to pick up the dogs, so I said, here, have some cake. She was on a cruise all week. She's like, I'm not going.
Well, and you were trying to, slough it off to anybody who would
nobody wanted it. I was like, come on, I have Tupperwares.
All right, well, hey, let's wrap up the show. That's going to do it for this episode of Sarah Talk. Thank you all for listening. Thanks to our patrons for patroning. Thanks to Senator Flowers for keeping it real, and thanks to Donald Trump for making Bibles even less valuable than ever. We'll see you next week at Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live. You've been listening to Sarah Talk.
Sarah Talk is made possible by listener support. Visit patreon.com/SarahTalk to become a patron and help keep this program going. Contact Sarah and Company by email at producer@sarahtalk.com or call 224-40-SARAH. That's 224-407-2724. And follow us on social media, facebook.com/SarahTalkRadio and on Twitter @SarahTalkRadio. Sarah Talk is a production of Sarah Austin Media.